no matter what my German voters think, but I want to deliver to the people of Ukraine.
Our friends from across the pond, sir.
President, how are you? Great to see you. No, thanks for having me. Well, that's kind of you to say.
Come on over here. You sit there in that chair. The strength of the partnership between Great Britain and the United States was the strength of the free world.
I'd like to update the House on the action that we took on Thursday night against Houthi military targets in Yemen. I can tell the House today that our initial assessment is that all 13 planned targets were destroyed.
Also here in Europe, but the world around us keeps spinning. We have two bloody wars continue to rage just outside our borders. The human suffering is immense, and the shock waves are felt well beyond Ukraine and Gaza. After the energy and food crisis set off by Russia, global trade is now being disrupted by Houthi terror in the Red Sea.
We're modernizing our military alliance, building on Japan's historic increase in defense spending and new national security strategy. The United States is fully, thoroughly, completely committed to the alliance.
Said, and I quote, "We support you and will support you as long as it takes, no matter what the German electorate thinks."
But if I give the promise to people in Ukraine, we stand with you as long as you need us, then I want to deliver, no matter what my German voters think, but I want to deliver to the people of Ukraine.
Heard that? Annalena Baerbock just said, "No matter what the German voter thinks, I will continue to deliver to Ukraine." That's an astounding statement to make for the foreign minister of any country.
Notice, I think that it is important that when I talk about losers and winners, that I don't just say that Europe lost or Europe won, Ukraine lost, Ukraine won, because in the context of Ukraine, let's face it, the oligarchs are winning if in the unlikely event that he gets out of this alive, Zelensky's pilfered a lot of loot. You got a lot of Ukrainian oligarchs and leaders of the country that have been shaking down everybody for loot, man. This thing is a big money laundering deal. And so you've got some very powerful people in Ukraine who, if they get out of this thing alive, has stashed a lot of money in shell companies around the world. So they're that's why I say the Ukrainian people, the average working class schmuck, all he gets is kidnapped out of a nightclub, sent to the front lines and mangled with artillery or killed. But the oligarchs are going to make out like kings and queens. The only question is, will they get away with it? We shall see. Let's go to Europe. The people of Europe, in a way, let me say one thing that's good about the people of Europe, at least those who have enough sense to realize it. Not all of them do. You still got some idiots running around with blue and yellow flags, watching their world collapse around them. But one of the things that the Europeans have found out, and let me just say this, you cannot act on your problems until you understand your problems. If you're asleep, you can't act on them. You have to wake up. I believe one of the things that have happened is a lot of Europeans have been woken up to the reality that they have no sovereignty, that they have no independence, that Europe is not a collection of nations. Europe is a collection of vassal states that have no independence and sovereignty, and that their leaders will do whatever they're told. That if their leaders are told to destroy their own country, that their leaders will do it. They have no sovereignty. I mean, let's look at Germany. Do you really have to look at Germany? Olaf Scholz comes to DC. He stands next to Biden, and Biden says, we'll take out Nord Stream. And this idiot next to me won't say a damn word. And Olaf Scholz just sits there like, we're going to work things out together, me and Joe. And then they take out Nord Stream. And then Olaf Scholz just sits there with the same stupid look on his face. I wonder who did it. Must be the Russians, maybe some Ukrainians in a sailboat. The ruling elite in Europe have been exposed, and that's a good thing. The Europeans have been going around all the way since 1945 thinking that Europe was a continent with countries, individual countries, and that they were voting people in, and these people were going to pay attention to them. Annalena Baerbock came out and said it earlier. I don't care what the voters think. That's what she said. We don't care what the voters. Get out of here, the voters. There's an illusion that they're voting. They ain't really voting. The U.S. empire is going to pick the leaders. The U.S. empire is going to tell us what to do. And those voters, we ain't interested in them at all. They aggravate us. What the people of Europe have found, those who have eyes, have found that they have leaders who don't work for them, who work for the U.S. empire, that they're unoccupied, that, let's face it, Western Europe is just occupied. It's occupied by the U.S. empire, and it has it's the same dynamic that they do to Africa. And that is, they get some old a backstabbing traitor. They give this dude lots of money, and they get him to make sure that, all the uranium and gold and stuff, cobalt and all of these things that they need for their Tesla batteries come out at a very low cost, next to nothing. And if anybody opens their mouth, they massacre them. That's the way they do it in Africa. Europe thought they were somehow better than Africa, that the U.S. empire viewed them better. You mean nothing to them. So now what Europe has found out is they got a bunch of rich, spoiled, Quisling traders who are working for the U.S. empire, just like that's why the Africans are throwing out some of the countries. Niger, they realize we got a guy in charge who doesn't work for us, and he's taking us to the cleaners, and we're all going to be poor, and he's going to be rich, and the people in the U.S. empire are rich. So the Africans are wise enough to recognize the dynamics. The Europeans have it in front of their face if they got enough eyes to see. If they have enough eyes to see what's going on, it has been revealed to them. If they don't see what's going on and act on it, when they're going to get what's coming to them.
trail, me know me can manage. Berlin, Irish, Marshall, seed in the office. Top tier thing after a stand and baggage. Straight like a run number, man and rabbit eye. Girl request the best so them a get the more. Now settle for the less, I and I settle the score. She run her physical and she still waiting for. She said she have a problem and I'm on the cure. Push up, sit ups, jumping jacks on the floor. Cayenne pepper and garlic when the lion does a roar. Tougher than steel from the hardware store. She feel explosion when she never get the twerk. Rasta around with the girl them. We them request we fulfill them heart. Feed me body upright with enough energy. Pumpkin seedling seed and Irish mash.